Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Ophira Eisenberg.
Flawless. Welcome, everybody. Ophira, of course, is the host of NPR's Ask Me Another, and she is filling in as co-host for the rest of the week. Very exciting.
It is exciting.
Today's guest, I'm very excited about as well. He's promoting his New York Comedy Festival show at the Gramercy Theater tonight at 7:30.
Awesome.
He's appeared on CNN, The Nightly Show with Larry Wilmore. He's been on the cover of Middle East's Rolling Stone magazine. You don't get bigger than Rolling Stone. You don't get scarier than the Middle East. Nemr, how you doing?
Great, man. Thanks for having me.
Sure. One name. I like it. Like
It's
Cher.
so much easier.
Yeah.
If I give you the last name, it just creates complications.
Oh, wait, what's the last name?
Abu Nassar.
You're right.
Abu Nassar. What's wrong with that?
Nothing. It's just nobody can pronounce the Nemr Abu Nassar part.
Trust me, I go through this all the time with my own stupid name.
How many times do you have to say your own name, though? You know?
My own name?
Yeah.
Constantly, because people are like, Radira Reisenberg, and you're like, no, Ophira Eisenberg. Ragapa Radubadu? No, Ophira Eisenberg.
Did you ever think
Those are some common
Did you think of
misconceptions.
going one name?
I did, but when I thought of it, I thought it was like there was Madonna, Prince, Cher were too much in the
game.
I'm
bringing it back with Nemr. Plus, I felt, just Nemr, it sounds so foreign as opposed to Abu Nassar. They're like, oh, is he Indian, Arab? So I figured that way people would perceive me as what I am, which is a comic for everyone.
Oh, that's awesome. I like that.
This is a true story. Someone once brought Ophira up on stage as Oprah Jewish something.
Something Jewish, but yeah. Same thing. Yep, it's true.
All right,
it is true.
Nemr, by the way, over in the Middle East, huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah, doing pretty well.
What's the biggest room you've ever done? What's the biggest show you've ever put on?
5,000 people.
5,000 people.
So when you're playing that size of a venue, are you up on screen everywhere as well?
Yeah, we got two. We'll have two huge screens.
Yeah.
For everybody to see. But because we build the venues usually when we do them that big.
Okay.
So I always try to do it in landscape mode, as I like to say, which like to make it more semicircular so everybody has a great seat. So I don't like people to have to rely on the screen. I like it to be there just for added visual comfort.
And so I know you just said you're a comic for everyone, but if you are on the cover of the Middle East version of Rolling Stone and you were playing 5,000 seat theaters, are you speaking something to the people that live there that is different than anything else they are getting?
No. I mean, what do you mean different than what do you mean exactly?
Well, obviously you're filling a niche.
Well, I mean, yeah, because I started the whole stand-up comedy industry from scratch there back in 2001. So I had to build it. Yeah.
From scratch?
From scratch. So I built it starting in Lebanon and then spread it all across the Middle East. Did the first stand-up comedy show ever in like Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Dubai, all those places.
Yeah.
So it was a niche, but you have to understand everybody across the Middle East speaks English.
Yeah, of course.
And they're
everyone in the rest of the world.
And the rest of the world speaks English.
Yeah.
And very in tune with American culture. Plus, when you have a place that's full of people who've been displaced by war, you have a lot more American, British, African, Asian, European, people who don't really speak Arabic. So it was a niche that was like a majority. I'm the highest selling artist in the region. Because everybody else is like, butchering each other in oversaturated market with Arabic. And then this one guy comes along and he's doing it in English and there's nobody else. So I was able to manipulate the entire market. And I was able to do it with a slogan, no politics, no religion, one love, because I was the only one doing it. And it set a precedent. Now it's basically like this place of unity for everybody, which is desperately needed.
But when you're starting something like this, so there's not comedy clubs, obviously. So when a comedian starts out, you're performing for more candles than you are people. So now you're in a big venue. It even looks more ridiculous at first. It must, right?
Well, I mean, I didn't get to that size venue without starting small and building up gradually.
But where would you literally
perform? I go to nightclubs, bars, clubs, and take their worst nights of the week, usually when they're closed on a Monday or a Sunday. And tell them, and they'd be like, why would anybody pay money to see you when the same ticket can get them a band that's like 5 people on stage? That's more value for money. So the first hurdle was to like get them to see that this is something worth their time. So I'd have to market it, sell out the shows, and not take any money. And then they were like, oh, wait a sec. Wait, this is actually cheaper than a band. And we make more money.
Yeah, come
back
one
on
mic stand.
Yeah, come back on Fridays. Screw that band. And then and it became a thing where you had to popularize it. So I felt like I always had the industry on my shoulders because I could never do 5 minutes or 10 minutes and try out a new bit. It always had to be an hour and a half every single time.
When do you realize when you come to America that they don't know you like they knew you in the Middle East? Did you?
Oh, nobody knew me when I first came here. I mean, I'd walk into a club and I wouldn't make any effort to I wouldn't come in and be like, I'm this, that, or the other. Because I figured that if I'm good enough, I don't need to be known, right? I should be able to get to work my way up very quickly.
Still, though, it's just a shame, if you put all that time in. For example, when I was a waiter, you always had these busboys that you find out in their country, they're legitimate doctors. Mm-hmm. It's just funny to me.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, that's not, you're a lifesaver. Anyway, literally a lifesaver. Now I need a coffee on table 4.
Right, exactly.
I agree. I mean, but what I did in the Middle East when I came here, it wasn't because I came here, let's say, to make money or to start a new life. I came back where I grew up because I grew up in America. And my goal always was to start out in the Middle East, build a scene that would bring people together to make it difficult for organizations like ISIS to be able to take free reign. If it wasn't for the comedy we do, they'd be doing much bigger impact than they are right now. And their impact is actually a lot smaller than people think. And then when I came to the U.S., I thought to myself,
you're making ISIS less dangerous.
Well, wait a second.
I'm making ISIS's life very difficult.
Let's unpack that, as they say.
Okay.
How? First of all, 2 statements. Since you are now the mouthpiece that we have,
I can make anything up right now.
So yeah.
So when we first learned to fly,
exactly, you can make anything up.
When we mastered telekinesis.
Explain to me. You just said the. I think I just heard you say their impact is a lot less than you think.
Oh yeah. There are only like 15,000 people in total. Mm-hmm. You could have wiped them out ages ago.
So, okay.
Sorry. Now I feel bad.
I mean, I'm not going to be part of this collective.
This is your fault.
Okay.
And Keith, how dare you, sir? I came here specifically to tell you that busboy was ISIS.
Hey,
you could have stopped him then and there, but you're like, you're a doctor, you're a hero. Now look what you did.
This is where I pull out the fact that I am a documented immigrant from Canada. Mm-hmm. I am just here to spy. Anyways.
I don't mean obviously you individuals. I meant you. I meant not you,
the government.
So,
I meant the world that could have stopped them.
Okay.
If they wanted to, but they served the necessary purpose,
which is
they were a balanced negotiation chip with Iran.
See, this is what I'm getting at.
If only there was a
This is what I'm getting at.
We would fight them at the border, and they'd be dressed in American uniforms with American weaponry, which they had taken in, obviously, from getting into Iraq. No, I'm not saying Barack Obama started ISIS, or I'm not going down that conspiracy theory route. But the bottom line is, they came into power as a very weak force of people who were recruited from Twitter. When we would fight them at the border, they'd take this thing called Captagon, which is a mixture of ecstasy and coke, because they aren't effective fighters. So they take it, they know they're going to die. So instead of blowing themselves up, which causes minimal damage, they figure they come out like Scarface. And I talk to Lebanese soldiers, and they tell me the only way we can put them down quickly is with a headshot. Otherwise, they just keep shooting. They're effective for like a minute or 2.
God.
So, they're not trained, they're not, but they so you could have wiped them out very easily. When I say you, once again, not you.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying.
And
not the Malleys?
Not the Malleys. Not the Malleys.
Who we do blame.
They could have been, but I mean, they basically served the necessary purpose at the time. And once again, it was a kind of evil that got out of control. Mm-hmm. Which isn't the first time this has happened when America tries to do something like this in a region that fragmented. Osama bin Laden. At the end of the Rambo movie, in the credits, there's a dedication to Osama bin Laden and the heroes of the Taliban, because at the time they were the champions of America against the Soviet Union, and they were trained. And so sometimes it's not good to play around with evil. That's
Charlie Wilson's War, a very underwatched and underrated movie.
Incredible film.
But it is basically all about that, how America is creating these wars in the Middle East by giving arms to one that is trading with the other in a very
in the case of ISIS, instead of giving arms, obviously they didn't do that. What ISIS did is American foreign policy was bad enough that it created the perfect hotbed. So when ISIS went into Iraq, they're Sunni Muslim.
Right.
The Sunnis in Iraq are a big part of the population. The Shiites were ruling the country and treating them badly. So when ISIS came in and said, hey, we're here for you, they're like, oh, check out all these weapons we got, by the way, and walk into our banks and fund yourselves. So that's how it worked there. They walked in and walked out with all the weapons that America had equipped them with and trained them with. And the thing is, what you learn in the Middle East, and you have to understand, that's why comedy's been so effective, you can only do so much with weaponry. It's in the mind where the real battle is fought. So the comedy is where the strengthening of the spirit happens, the nation building and all of that, which makes ISIS difficult to get into Lebanon. This is what I say. To put it very,
this is going to be some show tonight.
Lebanon's population is 4 million.
Right.
We, in the past 3 years, have taken in 3 million Syrian brothers and sisters.
Okay.
Right. So in terms of an absorption of population, we've absorbed almost 100% of our population. Wow. That's like America taking in 300 million or 250 million refugees in 3 years.
You guys became the size of Manhattan like overnight.
Add to it that we haven't had we just elected our president for the first time yesterday in 3 years. And that was like really like after a lot went wrong. Nobody's picked up the trash in the country for about 2.5 years. We don't have electricity 24 hours a day. There isn't.
Why do you still live there?
The infrastructure is falling apart because of all the people. But here's the reality on the ground. It's the most stable place in the Middle East. It's one of the most stable places and safest places in the world, much safer than here.
Really?
I'm serious. And when you have all of that going against a country, and ISIS is at an open border conflict with Syria. We share the border with Syria.
Right.
But they haven't been able to infiltrate the country. That tells you a lot about what that country is made of, in terms of Lebanon. And that's why I stay there, because that resilience, those people, that spirit, you won't find it anywhere else in the world. Where you throw that much at people and they still wake up every day and they chill. I talk about it in my show about how we make jokes. That's why ISIS stopped trying to get into Lebanon, because they'd kill 56 people with a suicide attack the day before the first Paris attacks, and the next day we wouldn't even take a day off. And we'd be making jokes. Like there's still traffic, come back.
And that's the ultimate kicker.
Wow.
That's the kicker, because you beat them physically, but then you have to beat them mentally. You can't give them the satisfaction of knowing they got to you.
Well, because that's the power, right?
That's the power. And then they're working on ideology because they're not militarily trained.
Yeah.
When they're
brainwashers.
They're brainwashers going through Twitter, and most of them speak English. They're coming like John, the jihadi John from England, coming up with a British accent and speaking about, we're going, if you send anybody else, we'll behead everybody here. And it's like, so who are these people?
Do you feel when you're hanging out in America?
Yeah, I spend a lot of time here.
Sure, and doing stand up here. Do you feel like you're constantly explaining things to people and informing them?
I kind of have to, but at the same time, it doesn't take that much. I think it's very easy to inform people about what you're doing if you're telling jokes.
Yeah.
Right? Also, it's the perfect way.
But I wouldn't think that you would have to do that necessarily. You look normal.
I do. I don't look like a terrorist. Also, I'm American, right? I mean, I grew up here.
All right, relax, okay? No, just kidding. Yes, no, I know.
Grew up here in Lebanon. It's the most popular culture. In the Middle East, it's the most popular culture. So it's not like I had to drop my American culture and live a different. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was a continuation.
So now you were saying that when you're doing shows all through the Middle East. I know that you mentioned Qatar. Mm-hmm. I always want to say Qatar because someone told me that's the way it was pronounced.
It's Qatar.
Qatar.
But let's just go.
It's
Qatar.
neither.
It's neither. Qatar is fine. Qatar sounds cool.
So, but there's like the stereotype here that you're doing stand up at a club and there's a 2-drink minimum. But a lot of these places are dry, right?
No.
But these places, you do Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia. I don't do shows legally there. So I do them. Yeah, I'm serious. Because if you do a show in Saudi Arabia with permission of the kingdom, you need to segregate the crowd. That means women on one side, men on the other. All I'm about is bringing people together and changing the Middle East forever. So the way to be able to do that, I have to do shows by contacting an embassy or a foreign entity and doing a show on their ground. The only caveat is, because that becomes foreign ground, I can't advertise the show. Online, offline, it can only be word of mouth. And the first time I ever did a show there, 3,000 people showed up.
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth. That tells you about the people on the ground. Listen, in the Middle East, what you see happening is from the people at the top. Those have nothing to do with the people on the ground. Sure. I've experienced multiple wars, massacres, and lost a lot of friends and family to a situation you should have never lost anyone to. But all of these times these happen, I've never picked up a gun in my life. When a war happens, you sit at home and wait until Russia and America or China and Korea or whoever else, Saudi Arabia and whoever is having a beef right now fights out the war in your country, and then they reach a settlement, and then you can go back to work. That's how it is.
You don't get nervous doing these shows?
Mm-hmm. No.
Saudi Arabia is not pleased that you're doing it. These women,
they don't know. I do it in secret.
Okay, but 1,000 people laughing?
3,000? 3,000 people. Word gets out.
Yeah.
And it happens, but I mean that's a risk we take, right?
That's what I'm asking. This is the risk you're taking, and not even just for you, for 3,000 people. Sure. For a woman that went there to laugh and then has to leave with a man because only the man can drive. You're kind of putting people in danger, aren't you?
Kind of, but I take care of my crowd. So I don't, because there was one time where the religious police wanted to get into a show. And I remember the promoter ran backstage and told me there's a car outside, jump in it and go. And I said, well, why? And he goes, the religious police are getting in. If they get in, you're going to disappear. And I go, well, what about the people here? He goes, they'll be in a lot of trouble, but they're Saudis, so it'll be fine. I said, absolutely not. I know they're highly uneducated, the religious police. Right. I had a suit on. I took an iPhone earphone, put it in my ear, strapped it through my suit, ran outside with a thick American accent. I was like, excuse me, is there a problem here? I'm a large guy. I'm 6'5", so I do look a bit like a bouncer. Ran up to I'm like, well, is there a problem? Can I help you? Ambassador Smith asked me to ask you if there's anything. Ambassador Smith was the American ambassador for Saudi Arabia.
I was going to be like, Ambassador Smith? That's not a very good cover.
As soon as they heard Ambassador Smith, they were like, oh no, who, what, the party, what? And I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't understand you. And they left. So you get in situations. I gave them the contact details of the competing promoter as the one who organized the event, and then
You're hilarious.
And they're all dead.
We sent them on.
Well, what do you do? Well, no competition.
Not only did I start comedy over there, I'm the only one. Right.
Well, the competition were Saudi. The people I was working with were British. So giving it to Saudi means they're not going to invest it. Oh, it's a Saudi-run event, so that's done. And that Saudi competition is a prince. You don't ask questions. You have to understand the politics there.
Right. I thought you just had people killed.
No. I do that myself. I don't send people to do that. I'm not a coward, Keith.
Let's go to the globe. I'm seeing
Let's go to
the Lebanon is is it an island?
No.
Okay, it's
Mediterranean. It's between Syria and Israel and the sea. It's the Mediterranean Sea.
Okay, so it's just so small that they have to put the name in the ocean.
In the sea next to it. Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I mean, on that little globe.
Right.
Yeah, in the world.
In the world, we can actually put it on several A4 papers.
Okay, so
across the land.
It's so that was like the most hilarious. I love a geography insult.
Mm-hmm.
Your country's so small that on a globe they got to put the country in the sea. Oh,
yeah, exactly.
A lot more I want to get to, but let me mention this: Movement watches, MVMT watches. I'm wearing one right now.
That is a nice watch.
Me too, but different. But yours looks nicer.
Movement watches was founded on the belief that style shouldn't break the bank. They changed the way consumers think about fashion by offering high-quality minimalist products at revolutionary prices. 500,000 watches sold to customers in 160 countries. Sometimes they have to ask a local embassy to sell the watch. It's a big thing. But they are the world's fastest-growing watch company.
I mean, they were once they got rid of the competitor.
Right. I love this watch. I love the way it looks and feels. I get many compliments about it. Take a look at their site, and you'll see what I mean. Two broke college kids wanted to wear stylish watches, but they can't afford that, so they started their own company. It's like podcasting. Movement watches start at just $95. At a department store, that's $400, $500. They sell online. You know the story. They cut out the middleman. Here's what you do. Get 15% off today with free shipping and free returns by going to movementmvmtwatches.com/KATG. Nice, clean designs. I'm telling you, endless compliments. Now's the time to step up your watch game. No pun. Go to Movement Watches, mvmtwatches.com/KATG, and join the movement, so to speak.
Let's see that watch.
Whoa.
It looks like
that is a nice watch.
It looks like a real watch. That's what I like about it. It doesn't look like a tracker.
Like a real watch.
It looks classy, not pretentious. Look at the case. It's like you're opening up an Apple product. Ooh. Even the case is cool.
Whoa. Yeah, that's nice.
Right?
Yeah, very nice.
So check that out.
Okay.
Let's talk about some Keith and the Girl polls, and then we'll get back to Nemr's life. We asked the audience when Clark Jones was on. Clark Jones was saying he cheated on his girl.
Yeah.
Then he wasn't really clear, but had to wear a condom because he got some kind of disease. I wasn't sure what it was, but he's like, what? Everybody doesn't do that? If you're a single guy, you cheat, and then you have to introduce a condom back to your first relationship. I'm like, well, how wouldn't the woman know you cheated then? Oh, they know right away, but you got to do what's right. So my head was...
I would just start with the condom, but okay, yeah, sure.
Right. So I asked the audience, have you...
Cover your base.
Yeah, right. How about not create the problem, Clark?
How about not cheat?
Jeez. Well, whatever. I mean, that's a psychological issue.
Have you ever tried to reintroduce condoms into a relationship because you cheated? Yes or no? 100% of the audience, no.
Yeah, I know. See, he's doing one of those hilarious. That's like a comic trope, right? Where you introduce a premise that nobody agrees with at all. It's like, when you cheat on someone and then you got to reintroduce a condom. Everyone's like, what are you talking about?
As they type next to their girlfriend.
Right. We were talking about
They know. They know. Yeah, no kidding. Clearly, all of your tactics are flawed. I like it, Clark,
right.
But what are you doing?
I'm just thinking, what if we have less feeling?
I wanted to, for Valentine's Day.
Right. I want to go 4 minutes. We were talking about the national anthem protest regarding football.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful that the 49ers, Colin Kaepernick, started it. It's just a shame they're one of the worst teams in football. It's like, why doesn't the Browns join them, It'd be nice if it was a good team. But anyway, we put up this poll. Did you stop watching football because of the national anthem protests? Yes, no, or I didn't watch football to begin with.
100% didn't watch football.
One person said yes.
One person?
Yeah, so that's good, but if you're the one person, don't you look at the thing and go, maybe I'm wrong? If you're one person out of the whole audience that voted, you might be wrong. For example, are you a woman for Trump was a poll. Yes, no, I'm not a woman. One woman said yes, I'm a woman for Trump. Didn't even feel bad. Click. That's funny to me. If you're the only person, feel bad.
I mean, obviously we're going to see how this whole election pans out in a week's time or so. I guess, yeah, we'll know it all soon. Anyways, but I was told, and maybe this has been covered in the news and I missed it, that there are a bunch of women in relationships, heterosexual women that are in relationships with men who claim that they are voting for Trump, but they are secretly not. Oh. They are just claiming that to their husbands or boyfriends who are Trump supporters.
Because men are too stupid to reason with.
Well,
they're just like, well, just tell them whatever, and then I'll do what I want at the booth.
Yeah, I guess so. Or there's some sort of like, I need to please this person, but when it comes down to it, my vote is anonymous. So no one will ever be able to track it.
Yeah,
I mean,
we would hope.
Which I find a different layer of sad.
Right,
if that's the truth.
Yeah.
In the onion of sadness, that is the election.
Exactly.
As we peel
There's
away.
another sad one. Yeah,
Look at this one.
Yeah, just stay with that guy that you're lying to about your ideology.
As he puts on a condom
exactly.
mid-relationship.
There's a T-shirt. I voted for Clinton for sure, or I voted for Trump. Positive. I definitely did that. That's what I did. That's what I do. The poll for when Alzo Slade was on, he was talking about how his dad or mom would beat him. And I put up the poll. Did a guardian hit you, like really hit you?
Yeah.
Because I was paddled with a wooden spoon on the ass. I don't really count that as really being hit. You know what I'm talking about when I say really. 42% of our audience say yes. Wow. A guardian really did hit that. How do you forgive that? How do you forgive that? My dad didn't do this, and we don't talk normal. You know what I mean? If my dad beat the shit out of me, Ray DeVito keeps talking about how I should get with my parents because you never know when they're gonna pass away. But you also find out his dad beat the shit out of him, and his mom allowed it. How do you look back and go, everybody needs family?
I don't know. Well, I mean, this is no defense of it, but I do know people's ideas of this have changed over time. I think in our case, generation, if I put us all in the same thing, my dad
knew not to put cigarettes out on me. People say, it was a different time when men were men, and Bill Cosby's doing this and this. No. I'm like, well, my dad never drugged women and fucked them.
No. We were way past. I mean, that's high, but I know that my older brothers and sisters got the strap at school.
The teachers would do it.
So that's what I mean about a slightly different time.
I got that.
You got the strap at school?
Not strap. They'd, open your hands. They'd have rulers. That was in Lebanon. Yeah, you could hit the kids if they were acting up.
Were your parents tough?
Yeah. But I was never abused.
Okay, that's what I mean.
Yeah, no. It's not like your dad comes home drunk and starts whipping out on you or something. I would have, once I found a truck tire and I threw it into a highway to see what would happen. Yeah.
You know what? I would do that.
I gotta get slapped around a couple of times. You know what I'm saying? Like my dad was like, "Are you insane? People are showing up to the house saying my nephew almost died."
They should put you in the tire and roll it into the ocean. Yeah,
it was either that or a slap. I took the slap.
My mother went to. My mother's much older, and she went to a I guess junior high, like whatever that was, grade 6, 7, in Holland. This is right around the beginning of World War II, and it was a school taught that was nuns, and they would put gravel. All of the floors of the classrooms were gravel or sawdust, and if you were bad, you had to you were like kneel in the gravel and sawdust for the rest of the class.
Yeah,
that's like water torture or something like that.
Oh no, water torture is much worse. Have you knelt on gravel? That's fine. Water torture happens to be slightly higher.
Yeah, well,
that nobody's broken any terrorists by making.
I work in a hyperbole. Okay.
Yeah, but we don't swallow gravel for fun. You know what I mean? Water's water.
Well, depending.
Oh my God.
If your parents beat you, I'm just curious how you forgive them, unless you were allowed to paddle them in front of each other.
No, I don't think you forgive them.
I don't get it.
You don't.
If it's real, if it's abuse.
Yeah, you don't forgive them.
That's not.
And I don't think the most, like, I don't think there's a way to do it. Like, people are like, oh, life's about forgiveness, more Buddhist thought, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Sometimes I just go, no, set a boundary, and that's it.
Right. And it's
nothing wrong with
nails
that.
on my back. That's my boundary. My parents didn't really hit me, says Alyssa, but once after I bit my sister for taking my strawberry shortcake doll, my mom bit me back. She said I wouldn't understand how bad it was until I knew how it felt. Do you share that in the knitting circle? Well, here's what I did. I bit my son or daughter back. Now they know.
It's interesting. That's an interesting tactic. I don't think that worked, by the way. Clearly, that person didn't remember it.
Right.
They're still writing about it, trying to reconcile it.
My mother!
Exactly. Strawberry shortcake. Like, this is an imprinted memory.
I'm going to write, no, she didn't really hit me. So you know the number's higher, right?
Right.
But I do have a fun biting story.
Yeah. You know what? That is true. I got spanked as a kid, but I did get slapped. My mother slapped me across the face when I was a teenager because I wasn't allowed to go to the shopping mall at lunch, and then I did. And lo and behold, the perfect coincidence, as I was walking back towards the school,
she was there.
She was there.
Oh.
And she caught me, and then
you're like, "What are you doing?"
Right.
I came looking for you, Mom.
And then at the end of the day, when I came home, and she was like, "I told you were not allowed to go to the shopping center." And you know what I said? Yeah, well, you can't watch me 24/7, so I'll probably do it again.
Oh, well, you deserved it. I'm sorry. You asked for it. I like how you pitched the story. We believed in the beginning that you were just slapped outright, but then it turned out everybody here was like, "Oh, you little."
No, what a jerk.
What a jerk.
Yeah, she just slapped me across the face, and I was like,
She just slapped you? That's it.
Piskin is writing, my parents beat me and my brother from time to time. It wasn't a regular occurrence, but when it happened, it was savage. As an adult, I realized it was a rage issue. Paddles, hands, willow switches, wiffle ball bats, whatever was handy. Well, start cleaning up. Usually on the ass and back of legs, but the face was also fair game. Most memorable was a hairbrush bristles out to the face. Picture 100 puncture wounds in your cheek all bleeding. Thanks, Mom.
Okay, that's not right.
Oh, no.
But I'll see her for Thanksgiving anyway.
No way.
Hey, if the turkey's good, the turkey's good.
She's a great cook.
Just wear a face mask.
Going back real quick, Danny is saying, Rosa's mom lives in San Antonio, Texas. She says all the ladies at her gym say that they're telling their husbands they're voting for Trump, but plan on voting for Hillary. Rosa is corroborating it's happening a lot in Texas. My mom hears the Republican women talking about it in the locker room at the gym.
That is crazy.
Right? Mm-hmm. So there's your polls.
But what if the women are actually voting for Trump but are afraid of the other women?
Oh, my God. I love this layers and
who
layers
knows what's really happening? What if they're actually voting for, what's his name, Gary Johnson? The plot thickens.
Yeah, the craziest of all. No, I just don't want, you know what I got to say? I don't want people to I don't want people to like write in Mickey Mouse or whatever they think.
That's just don't vote. Don't be that person.
Yeah, don't be the person that thinks that you're doing some sort of protest vote
that's not how it works.
by ruining your vote. I just think
vote.
that is vote. Pick something.
Pick something.
Pick something.
But isn't it a shame, though, that
we're here?
You could still, right, we're on the planet Earth.
Yeah, it is a shame.
That why can't we get everybody to understand you can still write in Bernie Sanders? You know? It's just people don't think they can.
Keith.
Do it.
Ship has sailed. All right,
I'm just saying.
It's
get
over,
into reality.
With that
yeah.
attitude,
it's over. I liked Bernie, by the way. I'm not.
Yeah,
bashing
no,
him.
exactly. But that's done. So you got to work with what you got.
Yeah.
All right. So no to Mickey Mouse, you're saying. All right.
Mickey Sanders, hilarious.
Let me answer this. Your question about, hey, I need to look good, but I don't know if I'm a suit guy. Every guy's a suit guy.
Totally.
Every guy looks better in a suit.
100%.
Indochino is the company that I'm talking about. Indochino. Indochino. This is, I told you, I went to Lenny Marcus's wedding.
That was your suit?
That was my suit. People weren't even paying attention to the vows. They're looking at me going, holy shit.
Of course they were.
Never mind, you're wearing sleeves. Look at you.
I know.
A nice tailored suit.
We had no idea that you could look human.
Yeah, I mean, they don't take a suit off the rack. You pay just a little bit more. It measures, it fits. You look amazing. I look like Brad Pitt. This Indochino, by the way, I went into their store personally. They don't make you feel dumb, and they're all fashionable in there. And I thought they would make me feel dumb because I don't know anything. I'm like, do I leave the bottom button undone? What's with the strap on the back of the vest? How do I shake a person's hand to say hello? And they help you out. You pick from hundreds of fabrics and patterns. Pick your lapels, pleats, jacket linings, everything. And they work with you. It's so easy. Get ready to step into the best, most stylish suit you've ever worn in just 4 weeks. And I'm going to tell you how. But first, I'm going to show you.
Well, I was wondering what that was there for. I thought maybe
go.
you had an interview for another podcast.
Excellent.
Now, I got the...
Whoa!
What?
Wow. Yeah, talk about make America great again.
Mm-hmm. So on the outside, nice charcoal color, beautiful, sexy, we all agree. On the inside,
America.
The stars and stripes. Business on the outside, party on the inside. That's right. And what I like about vests is that if you don't want to wear the suit, you don't have to, and you're still classy.
Yeah.
The suit jacket.
Yeah. That looks good.
Wearing a vest always looks better.
Yeah. So now, I got the suit.
Oh, wow, he looks good.
You do look good. All of a sudden, I respect you.
Right. Now, what do you think about Bernie Sanders?
I'm considering.
Right?
I'm writing in Bernie Sanders.
So, and then
Thank you for having me on the podcast. I'm grateful now.
I got the stars and stripes on the inside. Again, little fun thing for me. And you can, put your name or something on the inside of your suit.
Right? Yeah. What do you got?
Here's where I went.
Contract killer.
Oh, look at you.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, here's what you do.
That's pretty funny.
Get any premium Indochino suit for just $389. That's it.
So in your, as a contract killer, what's in your rider?
I've already said too much.
Pinot Grigio.
$389 at Indochino.com when you enter code KATG at checkout. That's 50% off the regular price for a made-to-measure premium suit. And shipping is free. Indochino.com, Indochino, promo code KATG for any premium suit for just $389 and free shipping. You'll never have to worry about a badly fitting suit experience or a trip to a tailor. You know what? I got a suit for my wedding, of course, and it's one of these old Italian guys, and just shoving this ruler up your asshole.
Are you sure you were going in for a suit?
I don't know where I was. It was in Chinatown, and
Italian guy in Chinatown. It's like a lot of things going on there.
Rulers up my ass.
Yeah, exactly.
Surprise!
I don't know.
Wasn't the right fit.
Yeah, exactly. There was a film crew there. I never really got the.
Oh my god!
So take a look at Indochino. Get ready to feel and look like $1 million. All right.
I believe you.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Well, you've seen it with your eyes.
Indochino.
Now, you have 2 places now, right? One in California, one in Lebanon.
Yeah.
Your girlfriend is moving in with you.
Yeah.
Whoa.
In California.
Yeah.
How long have you been together?
32 years. No, I'm kidding. It's been a year.
1 year. And you're moving in. Good for you guys.
Well, not now. I mean, in a few months.
Yeah. Same thing.
If we last.
Right.
Every day.
Every day. It's a struggle.
Should we take a poll?
Shall we take a poll? No, I can tell you 100% we will.
And where did you guys meet?
In Lebanon.
Oh, okay. And
after I convinced my parents I'm never going to meet a girl in Lebanon.
And then you met her
the
in
next
Lebanon.
day. Told my dad, I'm like, hey, I met a girl. I think I'm going to marry her. And I was like, what's wrong with you? You convinced us yesterday.
How does she feel about the stand-up comedy lifestyle?
She's so far so good.
Yeah.
Actually very supportive. I think that's imperative, right? Because
Yeah,
it's not
it's
going to work
super
out.
important.
You have to, she knows what it entails.
Yep.
And so far I couldn't have, she's perfect.
Now is she bringing everything of hers to California? I'm trying to figure out.
No,
which
she's
place.
gonna leave. She's gonna leave stuff in Lebanon as well because
You like the home country.
Well, I go back a lot too. I go like 8 or 9 times a year to the Middle East, so I'm in between.
Yeah, now listen to this, Ophira. Not only is she supportive, she's into marketing, and she knows that if he's on stage saying I'm married or I have a girlfriend, some ladies might not like that.
Yeah,
she will not. If somebody goes to take a picture of them, she will step out of the way so people think he's single.
All right. Well, I guess use a condom.
So do you use condoms now so the transition isn't odd?
No, I don't cheat.
All right.
Wow. So
right? Isn't that funny? My wife gets closer to me. I'm like, you're ruining my career.
I don't mean this to sound bad.
This is our bread and butter. Yes, sorry.
But that is going to end.
That's what everybody says.
That's what it is.
But
true.
I'm a positive person.
Well, that's
so until it ends. I live in my own. Wait a
second. You're a positive person, and you do stand up.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
My darkness comes from the things I've experienced, not from my personal life.
Right.
I had the positive benefit of growing up in a war-torn country.
Yeah.
But with a beautiful family that loved me.
So confusing.
Lot to take into that.
I didn't get raped or anything.
All right. Well, you want to bring that up? Weird.
My trauma comes just from massacres and death.
So you were born in Lebanon in '83.
Mm-hmm.
Then you move here 2 years later. Your family moves you here because of the civil war in Beirut, right?
Yes, sir.
And then the family takes you back. Like, all's good.
Well, when I was 11, my dad was like, we need to go back to Beirut where it's safe.
Yeah?
Yeah, because he didn't feel America was safe anymore to raise children.
Mm-hmm.
We're in San Francisco?
In San Diego.
San Diego, okay.
Yeah, because, at the time, if you guys remember DARE, Say No to Drugs.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So they were in the middle of their amazingly effective campaign.
Yeah.
And they basically just had parents terrified that they were sending their kids not to school, but to a junkie-infested playground. And then we get sketches to the house of somebody kidnapping kids, and you'd have on the milk cartons every day have you seen this child? So my parents, being Arab, means they're overly dramatic to begin with. For them, it was like, we can go back to Lebanon because it is really one of the safest places on the planet, except for war, and which my dad would say, but you can hear a bomb coming. But if they kidnap you, they don't worry.
But so crime is just very, very...
There is no crime.
There's no crime.
No crime. I mean, if there's like a murder or something, like the whole country shuts down. Like everyone's like, what? And everybody knows who did it.
Right.
Immediately, because it's a small place. Everybody knows everyone. So it's either him or him. Because he's been stalking the girl. And it never gets to that level. Do you know where I'm saying? Where you have outright crime? Because usually crime happens periodically, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you want to steal somebody's home, you don't just like drive down the street and go, that's nice, bust in and, you stake the place out. You do. It's hard to do that when everybody knows everyone. Like, why have you been parked in front of this dude's house? And if you're, assaulting a woman or you can't do that because you will be destroyed. That this culture of filming people fighting and stuff, that doesn't exist there. At all. Right. Like people jump in immediately, and if a girl gets like assaulted on the street or something, like somebody tries to grab her butt or whatever, run, because guys will it'll be like an army. And
so are there jails?
Oh yeah, that's why you don't want to also mess around, because when you do go to jail,
it's harsh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not a good time, and we don't have homeless people. In the middle, in
Is
Lebanon.
it fairly wealthy? Is that why?
No, but I mean, once again, you live with your parents,
right?
And
it's a different community feel.
It's a community feel, like if you can't afford to live on your own, or you go out and you flop, you come back to your family, and they every day tell you that you're a failure, and that had you listened to them, you would have done a much better job. And just when you want to leave again, they cook food, and you're like, whatever.
But let's go back a second in case we're confusing people and they already are packing their bags. Keep in mind, this trash literally hasn't been picked up in years, and you will not have electricity for an entire day.
The trash hasn't been picked up in years, but the people took care of it.
Okay.
And where are they putting the trash?
People started donating land
for dumps.
So recycling isn't a law. People started recycling themselves, processing trash. Every area started taking care of it themselves. That's the Lebanese people.
Okay, so you might not have electricity, but the neighbor will come over with a candle.
Here's the thing. We have electricity, but it's split. The government will give you electricity for 6 hours and cut it off for 6 hours. So every single area has its own generators that come on when electricity powers down. I have a UPS system in my house that lasts many hours that I set up. So you take care of it yourself because we're not allowed to run our country. So it's better this than war, right? We're not going to kill people for this generation, my generation. We're not killers. We're not murderers. We're peaceful. We're just waiting for everybody to die. No, not really.
You better not.
No.
That's a very common...
You have to, but I mean, you just get a good accountant.
Okay.
So, this is a very common thing. We're waiting for the people to die with the
older people.
Yeah,
older
with
generation.
the ideology that is impossible to shake and
divisive.
That's right.
Not coming together.
I mean, this is how a lot of people feel about identity politics. It's just sort of like, well, the people that have a real problem with the...
Well, we didn't have a president for 3 years, so America, maybe you want to give that a shot too. Because hey, we took in so many refugees. We had all of this stuff against us, and it is the safest place and the most stable place in the Middle East. So maybe. I mean, America, you got a much better infrastructure than we do. I'm just saying.
Well, and we're still not
Our debt to GDP ratio is over 1,000% in Lebanon. You guys have a lot more going for you. If we could pull it off without a president, there should be an option. Pass.
Yeah. None of the
that
above.
would be
None of the
hilarious.
Above. Sorry.
Well,
try again.
That has been the slogan of this entire election. None of the above.
Mm-hmm.
The secret slogan.
Do you guys have a president, not a king, right?
Yeah, we're a democracy.
Okay.
But it's a parliamentary democracy.
As of yesterday, new president.
So we elect the parliament. The parliament elects the president. As of yesterday, we were allowed to elect a president.
I mean, that's sort of how the Canadian parliamentary system works, except for it's a prime minister.
Exactly. But yes. The prime minister has more power also in Lebanon.
Oh, that's right.
Than the
that's
president.
Right. You have a president and prime minister.
Prime minister. But the problem is when there is no president, for any law to be passed, from as mundane as, I don't know, like opening up a street or something, to as complex as changing civil liberties, it then has to be 100% unanimously agreed by everyone in Parliament. So for the past 3 years, that's why trash wasn't being picked up.
Because it's never going to happen.
Which landfill? Nobody would agree until now. A president can come in, and you can then revert to majority vote. That's democracy.
It's pretty complicated, but it works.
Right.
It does work because in Lebanon, to end the civil war, what they did, one of the things, the prime minister has to be a Sunni Muslim. The speaker of the house has to be a Shiite Muslim. The president has to be a Maronite Christian. They divided power everywhere so that...
Has to be.
So you can't have a president that's not Maronite Christian. You can't be Roman Catholic. The Roman Catholic Christian has another position. That's how it is.
Yeah.
And they did it, and we don't have population consensus made because they don't want to even touch that subject. In case somebody increased in population and somebody else decreased. That way, because it was tribal, the Middle East was tribal, right? So you had people looking out for their own. So when the Maronites were running the show, it helped fuel the civil war because they weren't taking care of the Muslims. You know what it was always like taking care of my own.
I don't know the word Maronite. It's the first time I'm hearing it. Maybe I'm an idiot.
No, not at all. What are you talking about? It's a sect of Christianity that isn't around here.
Okay.
But, I mean, it's closest to... If I'm not mistaken, and I hope I'm not, but Roman Catholic.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. They do follow the Pope.
Oh, they're popies. We call them popies over
here.
I'm
pretty sure.
I'm just kidding.
I'm pretty sure. I hope nobody ever listens to this and is like, no, what are you talking about?
They can fact check it up.
Yeah. Isn't Maronite a flavored yeast extract?
Maybe.
Like a spread in Britain?
Oh, you mean marmalade?
Oh, okay.
Marmalite? Jesus Christ, Maronite.
Is it...
Marmite.
That's it. And that's Australian, right?
From that's Vegemite.
Oh, that's Vegemite, right?
Marmite made a Vegemite sandwich. You know that song? What was it?
No.
Come on, you know this song. I come from a land down under.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because it's an Australian band. Those people.
Yeah. All I know is this poor kid that's trying to rate a report based on what he's hearing today.
He's like, what?
Let me mention this. KeithandTheGirl.com/tumor. Hamden needs your help. People are donating, and thank you very much. And beautiful messages, of course. Let me read this to you. I can't express how my surgery that I have been dreading and avoiding for years, I have Crohn's disease, my colon was removed, I now poop in a bag, this person says, has been made easier after listening to the way you, Chemda, gracefully and in good humor took your surgery so well. Listening to your honesty and strength made this process almost easy, and your acceptance of yourself has removed any anger and bitterness that consumed me for so long. I can't wait to be working again so I can give more smiley face, supporter for life.
Oh,
that's wonderful.
I got to say, I also am someone who felt that Chemda's strength. I was like, wow, you are beyond what I was capable of.
Right. Oh, yeah. I'm complaining about, knee injections.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All relative.
Way, she is. She's recovering more and more. She'll still need radiation. But I was thinking about that. You know how they say any day you can get hit by a bus.
Yeah.
Hasn't been hit by a bus yet. So this is good news, I think. This person writes, I heard you on Never Not Funny, and the podcast sent me here. I hope you heal well and get well soon. I also deal with a chronic illness, so I understand how difficult health issues can be. Best wishes. This was nice to hear. That's Jimmy Pardo's podcast, of course. We've been on there a couple times. Matt Belknap was on there talking about Chemda.
And finally, our friend Chemda from the Keith and the Girl podcast, She is the Girl, has been dealing with some health issues. She had a tumor that was recently removed. And if you want to know the whole story, you can go to katg.com/RWMN, and you can find out more details. Or if you want to help support her paying for all the medical costs that she has incurred, please go to youcaring.com/The Girl. And like I said, you can find out more at Keith and the Girl's website, KATG.com.
Thanks, guys. Let me mention that. Oh, by the way, I heard it again when Ophira was on, when we did NYC Podfest.
Yeah.
So funny. Such a fun show.
That was so fun.
Take a look. It's in your VIP package, which, of course, supports our show. And look under the live section.
Live shows are a good time.
Keith and Chemda,
you guys do a good live show.
Thank you. Keith and Chemda join NYC Podfest with Wendy Starling, Sydney Washington, Danny Hatch, and Ophira Eisenberg, where they discuss bad dates, sugar daddies, and panty selling. So it's very, very eye-opening. Mm-hmm. Very eye-opening.
I didn't know you could sell your panties for as much as I now sell them for.
Right. Maybe a couple bucks here and there or a Subway token. But
exactly.
Wow.
Who knew?
Wow.
Can men do it? Is it the new Uber?
You know what? That's a really good question. Can men sell their underwear?
No.
Make that a poll.
Okay.
No, I can tell you now.
No.
100% no.
No.
Yeah, that's where there's a difference between men and women, isn't
it? Of course.
It?
Women are better.
You know what? That is the one difference.
Women are better. That actually proves everything. That actually proves everything, that women are much better than men.
You can see Ophira live. She'll be hosting Ask Me Another.
I will.
In Brooklyn on November 14th. More info and tickets, visit
there's an amazing special guest, which I don't think I can announce, but you will not be disappointed.
You can tell them I'll be on it.
More info and tickets, visit amatickets.org. Okay?
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you. I know I keep treating your life in Lebanon like it is... like I'm going for it's so exotic. Let me ask you another question,
Go
and
ahead.
I apologize for that.
You shouldn't. Why should you?
He loves it.
But we were just talking, obviously, about Chemda and health issues, whatever. So what's the medical situation? What's the healthcare situation like?
Oh, they're all dying. They're all dying.
Everyone dies. So if you get a paper cut, it's over.
The main problem is they're all busboys over here.
They come here and they go. They're waiting tables.
The brain drain, and then they get here. Nothing.
The best hospitals in the Middle East are in Lebanon.
Yeah.
Some of the best in the world. Michael Dabari, who started the first ever heart transplant, is Lebanese, and he opened up in Lebanon as well. And so they're very, very medically advanced. Healthcare, so much better than here.
Yeah, well, that's you could say that almost about everywhere. About everywhere.
It's ridiculous. I have unlimited coverage in Lebanon. Unlimited.
Yeah,
and I locked in the rate when I was 21. You lock it in for life as long as you renew on a yearly basis. So whatever you paid when you were 21, if you stay with that company, that's your rate forever. Another company can come and say, we'll give you the same rate to flip to. But I mean that.
Right.
And I pay $1,250 a year.
$1,250
a year for no pre-existing case, denial, no deductible, nothing. It's an unlimited coverage. Whatever happens, it's covered. I come to America, I get medical insurance, and I'm paying about $600-$500 a month.
Yep.
With a ton of with all the fine print and just like
right.
I know, and refusals and I mean,
I haven't used it once yet.
Right.
Hopefully, I'll never use it.
Yep.
But I mean,
that is the hope.
For me, I'm not complaining. I feel bad for. I'm not. I don't have a family.
Right.
I'm good. I'm okay. I'm single. I mean,
good.
I can afford it now, but I'm wondering about the families who I don't think that's a good situation.
It's terrible.
Well, this is why you have now. I get it. You keep a house in Lebanon, it's cheaper to fly back.
Yeah.
And take care of a cold.
I've got a sore throat.
I'll go in the hospital with a broken leg here in America. I'll be like, how much?
Right.
Book me a flight. Your leg's broken, sir. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. There's a wheelchair.
I've survived war. I can live with this.
I'll be sitting down while flying. Now, are there any of these, same American fetishes with elective surgery, like a lot of people getting, I don't know, plastic surgery?
Oh, yeah, plastic surgery. There was a time where banks would give plastic surgery loans, which was really funny. They had like billboards. I made so many jokes about it that I think it actually stopped because the jokes were so good. But I mean, it was for a while, it not so much in Lebanon, but the Lebanese doctors, because Lebanese people are some of the best looking over there. And then you have a lot of the Arabs coming in to get the surgery done because the doctors there they're smooth talkers, Lebanese people.
So what are they getting? Are they getting
nose jobs, boob jobs, butt lifts, the whole deal? The whole deal. What's that show? Nip Tuck or whatever?
Yeah, I've never watched it.
Not Nip Tuck. Sorry, I'm sorry. There's a reality show of two
doctors.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of them is actually Lebanese. Here in America, though.
Yep.
Originally Lebanese. I'm telling you, we have a knack for this kind of for busboying,
for artistry,
our way into the medical profession.
All right, let me mention this one more time. You want to see it? The show's tonight at Gramercy Theater.
Mm-hmm.
You'll love it.
It's a beautiful theater.
You like
I'm
it?
so excited.
God,
it's half history lesson.
So excited.
7:30 p.m. All right, you can check Nemr stuff out at nemrcomedy.com. Nemr comedy.com. Same as his Twitter. With over 122,000 followers, so you're no joke.
It's too many.
I bought them all.
Too many.
It's all a lie.
I hope so, because how can you care for so many people?
Yeah.
It's almost
it's easy when you pay for it.
Do you ever see that? There's a what's that website, Danny? Twitteraudit.com, and if you see somebody, you're like, I don't know how you have this many followers. You type it in, and it tells you how many are fake.
Really,
It's the funniest thing.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't need to know that. I need to be able to get some stuff done. That's all I'm gonna do.
Right. You see it. You'll find people with 3-4 million followers. Look at how many people they're following. That's when you start to know.
Right.
I think the scariest person on Twitter to me is not actually the troll. It's the person who has 34 followers, but 12.5 million tweets.
Right.
Yeah. That's psychosis right there.
Yeah, that's so scary to me.
Somebody who thinks that his opinion is that significant.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Totally addicted. Nobody cares.
Nemr, very nice to meet you.
Thank you. The pleasure was mine. Thanks for having me.
So great.
Congrats on everything. And
Thank
Ophira,
you.
join me tomorrow.
I would love to.
All right. Bye.